So when is this coming out? When is this podcast coming out?
This will probably be. You're gonna come out on the 27th.
Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna ask her to marry me on the 25th. So
I love this woman. Katie.
Oh my God.
Rosco! Will you do me the honor of being my wife?
I'm unloading the meat. I'm loading the meat. I'm unloading the meat. I'm loading the meat. I'm unloading the meat. I'm loading the meat. I'm unloading the meat. I don't even know what it means, what it is, what it is, what it is, what it is, what it is. Hey, I'm unloading the meat. I'm loading the meat. I'm unloading the meat. I'm loading the meat. I'm unloading the meat.
What's up, guys? Welcome to Unloading Meat. My name is Jared Ralphie Allen, and thank you so much for stopping by for this episode with Rosco. And if you saw the little cliffhanger ending at the beginning of this episode, man, stay tuned to the end of this episode to see if it gets resolved. I don't know. I just don't know what's going to happen. Today's guest is the ultra funny Rosco. And guys, when I first got started into stand-up comedy, this was one of the first people that really took me under his wing, so to speak, and made sure that I felt welcome and invited in this community. And not only him, but Katie, they have both just been wonderful people in the community, and I'm sure I'm not the only one that said that will say that they are an asset to Tulsa comedy. And man, I'm so excited to see where they take their next journey. So sit back and relax and listen to my awesome conversation with the one and only Rosco the comedian. Hey, fellow hipsters and people that have culture or something. I'm Jared Ralphie Allen, host of Unloading Meat, and we need sponsors for this show. If you identify with this fucked up hat I'm wearing, these shitty tattoos, or any other cultural references that are behind me, reach out to your favorite sponsors and tell them to sponsor the show Unloading Meat. Now, back to acting like I wasn't impressed by anything. I wish this podcast could be on vinyl. All right, guys, we are back, and my guest today is the very funny, very hilarious Rosco.
hey, what's up, buddy? How are you?
Doing pretty good, man. How are you doing?
Hey, we're here. We made it.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
How you been?
busy, brother. Just like everybody, in the scene, we're just staying busy. I'm glad to be here, though, man. I like your setup here.
Thank you very much. Welcome to Unloading Meat. I'm happy you found it.
Yeah, I love the name Unloading Meat.
Thanks.
I think it could work on multiple levels. Being that you're fat and like to eat.
True.
You could also be because you're super gay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could be any of those things.
Yeah.
You know that whenever you put this stuff on YouTube, you can't cuss for the first 30 seconds. Otherwise, it demonetizes.
Yeah, that's why this is going to be like, I usually do like an intro, and then
Yeah.
I have my ads, and then I'll have...
Well, I was hoping that you'd have me at 31 seconds in and let me know so I could just drop an F-bomb.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're about 30 seconds in right now.
Well, fuck. I missed it. Sorry, guys.
Sorry. We'll try harder next time.
Next time.
Harder
Next
on
time.
Unloading Meat.
Yes. That's not gay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got it.
So, how'd you get started in comedy, man? Like, when did you start?
I'm about 2.5 years in. I got divorced when I was 40 years old.
Okay.
And when I got divorced, my daughter was graduating high school that year. So I worked retail for the last 12 years. And I was like, all right, I want to do what I want to do now, which has always been comedy. So I sold everything I had, moved to Chicago, and the pandemic hit.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, 2.5 weeks after I got into Second City for writing.
And I am glad that we're past the 30-second mark so I can say fuck, too, just naturally.
Yeah, just a natural fuck, yeah.
Natural fucks are always the best.
Yeah, well, I haven't worn a condom since 1999, so we're good. Yeah,
I haven't since Nom.
yeah, right.
But you can tell by the hairstyle.
I get that. Yeah, 100%. Get a haircut, you fucking hippie. Anyway,
It's a handle for when I'm on Grindr.
oh, okay, yeah, that
Yeah,
works.
it's a bitch handle.
I like Grindr.
Hoagies and grinders.
Navy beans.
Yeah.
That
That was a fat joke for you, just so you know. It's a
Yeah.
fat segue.
Yeah, I'm always into that.
Segue.
Well, anytime we can bring up Sandler, I think
Big
it's a good
Sandler fan.
time. Who doesn't love Sandler? Anyway, yeah, so I moved to Chicago. Pandemic hit. So I was like, well, they shut down school. So I was like, well, fuck, what do I do? Hung around for about 3 more weeks, doing comedy in basements. And then I was like, well, I'll just come home, back to Tulsa, because I'm from Bixby.
Yeah.
So came back to Tulsa and just kind of joined in on the scene here in Tulsa, and just been pushing and working my ass off for the last 2 years to get on the road. And, in the last probably 6 months, I've been on the road consistently.
Because you were in what, like a couple weeks ago, Minnesota or?
Yeah. I
Minnesota?
went to Duluth, Minnesota a couple weeks back.
Shout out to Duluth.
Yeah, man, it's a great town. I don't know, it's really cool. It's kind of hipstery. I know you wouldn't think that with Minnesota, but
Yeah.
it is. Yeah, right on Lake Superior. It's beautiful. Anyway, yeah, I was there.
Well, it's like if you go to Oregon, it's hipsters and old people.
Yeah. I haven't been East Coast, or I haven't been far West Coast or far East Coast, either one, except for in Canada. I went to Vancouver once. Shout out to Canada.
Shout out to Canada.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to go. Toronto has been a big place I've always wanted to go.
They say it's the most European city we have.
Really?
That's what I hear.
I just want to
Yeah.
try Tim Hortons so I can justify, the weight and everything. And plus, I'm a big
well,
wrestling fan.
You live in Oklahoma, so you got barbecue. You can blame that on, and
True.
sweet tea.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's in the fridge.
Oh, yeah, I know.
And in these veins.
Red Diamond.
Yep.
Yeah, that a boy. Shout out to Red Diamond. Sponsor this guy.
Shout out to Red Diamond. I drink a
Or
shitload of it.
Milo's. Milo's is just as good.
Milo's is good. They also make a half sweet tea, half like Arnold Palmer.
Arnold Palmer, yeah.
It's delicious. They have it by a jug.
Yeah, I've seen it at
Yeah.
Walmart. I shop at Walmart, bro.
They should just have a question mark like, "Are you pre-diabetic? Buy this." Like,
Yeah. I don't think I'll get diabetes because I'll probably just die first, but
just the first part of diabetes.
Yeah.
Die.
yeah, my girlfriend's got diabetes, so yeah, we'll let her take care of the insulin.
Yeah.
She always gets really mad too because I just eat like shit, and she's checked my blood sugar, and my blood sugar's fine.
Yeah.
It really pisses her off because she can, eat a fucking M&M, and it shoots her blood sugar up to the fucking.
That's the
sky.
way my dad is. He recently found out he's diabetic at older age, and now he's on diets and has to eat like taco salads when we go to the Mexican restaurants and stuff like that.
Ah,
And
sure. I don't
me-
mind a salad, but yeah.
Yeah, but then me, I go to the doctor and there's nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing. And
But
he's
you're,
just like,
what,
"Son of a
you're,
bitch."
you're 30s?
Yeah, 34.
Yeah, so like.
I got a
give
little
it,
bit.
Give it 10 years.
Yeah.
Then
Well, hopefully by
everything
10
will
years,
fall
this
apart.
is, the unloading meat process is taking effect.
Hey, dude, I hope so. More power to you. It's
Yeah.
not for me, but
I mean,
good on you.
You've heard my bit about the 60-pound part. I mean,
Yeah,
that's actually true. I actually have lost about 65 pounds in the last year.
that's good.
Yeah. Just
So
just kind of just doing this. And,
couldn't even fit in that chair last
No.
year. Attaboy.
Yeah.
I'm proud of you. Good. I'm a fat boy too, as you could tell. I don't hide it, but
I said it on the first episode whenever fellow fat guy AJ was on here that like we looked like the two guys they wheel in on the Guinness Book of World Records and on the little
on the motorcycle.
on the motorcycles.
Yeah, fat motorcycle twins. Yeah. I'm aware of that. That's showing your age too.
Yeah.
I don't know if they do Guinness Book of World Records anymore. I mean, I know that they still have the records, but I don't know if does the physical book still come out?
I don't think so. I think it's just there to promote Mr. Beast content now.
God, dude, that guy.
I mean, shout out to Mr. Beast for
No,
at
he's
least
the
making
best.
it.
No, he's the best. Like, you can't watch one of his videos and not just like be in love with what he's doing.
Yeah.
Like, he's broke the algorithm. He's written the algorithm.
Yeah.
And it's so funny because I've heard a lot of interviews with him, and he doesn't
He's very
he
humble.
doesn't keep the money though. Like, the money all goes right back in.
Yeah.
To the videos. I know somebody offered him like $1 billion last year, whatever, to buy his YouTube channels.
Yeah.
And he's like, he goes, I might consider if it was 10 times that amount. And you think that's a ridiculous statement, right? $10 billion. But, if you work the math out,
Yeah.
that's probably what it's worth.
Well,
and
then
that's crazy.
Then you have things like whenever Squid Game came out and he did his own version of Squid Game.
Yeah.
And it's better production values and better than the Netflix
Yeah,
reality
he
show
built
that's coming
that
out now.
huge fucking warehouse or
Yeah.
whatever. Is it North Carolina he
North
lives?
Carolina.
Yeah. Like, built a huge warehouse. It's funny that you brought up Mr. Beast. I just told my girlfriend last night, I was like, you got to follow Mr. Beast on TikTok because, like, his people just randomly show up at fucking grocery stores and Walmarts and they're like, you follow Mr. Beast on TikTok. And if you do, they just give you a car.
Yeah.
And it's like, Jesus, man, to have that kind of money.
Yeah. And then like even his last video where he cured blindness. I don't know if you saw that one or
I haven't watched it, but I heard about it, and then I heard people bitching about it because,
Yeah.
like, he's playing God or whatever. It's like, fuck you guys. Like,
Well, his point was like, I have all this money. Why can't the government do this for people? Like, it's curable for certain people with blindness.
Sure.
Like, it's this
cataract
cheap.
surgery is all
Yeah.
he did. Yeah.
It's like, it's this affordable, and I can do it to this many people, or help this many people. Do it this many people sounds like sexual assault,
Well,
and that's not the.
I don't know Mr. Beast, so
Yeah.
I can't speak on it. But
yeah,
you know,
that's a different type of beast video.
yeah. Mr. Bestiality. Yeah,
Yeah.
I love it. That's his next channel. Yes. All right.
Yeah.
I like the smoothness there. That's good.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
This episode of Unloading Meat is not brought to you by a famous game like Raid Shadow Legends. Raid Shadow Legends. I've never played it, but boy, if they sponsor this show, I might give it a try. Hopefully. It really depends, Stefano, on what the contract says, like how long I have to play it. I've heard good things. Have you heard good things? Nobody cares about your opinion. Anyway, if you are sick of these fake ads, make sure that you reach out to people like Raid Shadow Legends and tell them to sponsor the show Unloading Meat, and they'll be replaced soon. Anyway, back to the show.
So anyway, yeah. So then I moved back to Tulsa, and in Tulsa, COVID isn't a real thing. I don't know if you knew that. Like in Oklahoma.
Well,
they didn't care.
apparently it's cured now. It's over.
Well, that's what Biden says.
Yeah.
Yeah. In May.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like over in May.
It's gonna be May.
Yeah. Well, it's gonna be May. Sorry, that was funny.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, I set you up for it.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah. So I came back here, just started doing comedy here, and I wasn't. At the beginning when you're the new guy, and I know that you're kind of the new guy around right now.
I am.
When you're the new guy, you don't get booked on much shit. It's just kind of the reality of it.
Yeah.
Once you do, you'll start getting booked a lot. But
hopefully from this, I hope with the connections I'm making that'll happen.
Yeah, 100%. You got to have the time. I
Yeah.
mean, that's first thing is like, it's great to get booked, but you got to be able to go do 10 minutes. You know what I mean? It's got to be a funny 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And that's what gets you rebooked. You
Yeah.
know.
By the way, Cellar Dweller on Sunday, thank you. I know you weren't there, but you helped me like get on the list and stuff like that.
Yeah. How was it?
Good.
Yeah.
I had a great set.
Yeah, I wore my Cellar Dweller shirt tonight.
Shout out to Cellar Dweller.
Love to Cellar Dweller. Yeah.
I love that atmosphere. I've never been there, and like the atmosphere is great. I love
It's
the
a cool
red
bar.
lights. Yeah,
It's a really
bartender's
cool
super
bar.
nice.
Yeah, Leon is a great guy. The bar manager, her name is Saya. She's awesome too. They really take care of us. We've been there a little over a year doing the mic, and no offense to any other mics because I love everybody in the scene, but I think it's the best mic in Tulsa. There's a couple that are right there, but I think it's the best open mic in Tulsa. And I love Tulsa Comedy Club's open mic too on Friday nights. I wish it could be a little more consistent, but they book shows there and stuff.
Shout out to Tulsa Comedy Club. The venue is
It's
cool.
the best.
I love the venue.
Yeah,
Like,
it's a real stage.
Yeah.
We do shows there. There's actual real shows that happen in that room, and so you're getting on a real stage. It's like doing the Looney Bin. I don't know if you've done the bin yet, but
I did
also
it once
great.
like 15 years ago. We'll probably have to crop.
well, they're
this.
great now too. But
They are?
No, they are. And the girl that runs it, Allie, is super sweet. They're good to the
I don't know
local
if my
scene.
material would be good with open mic because they have to be clean. And we can crop this part.
Yeah, it doesn't have to necessarily be clean. They don't want you to go up there and say fuck 100 times,
Yeah.
right? But it's PG-13, maybe even reaching into R. Just as long as you're just not going up there and everything's a dead baby joke. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Or everything's a fucking rape joke.
Sure.
But that could be said about anywhere.
Yeah.
Like, even at Cellar Dweller, I don't want somebody coming up and doing fucking 40 rape jokes because
Sure.
it's not.
Well,
not
it has
funny.
to be tasteful.
Yeah.
Everything has to be tasteful.
Within reason, anything can be funny. And I believe that truly. Like, cancel culture's bullshit.
Yeah. And it
You
doesn't
can
work.
do a joke about anything as long as it's funny.
Well, and also cancel culture is just temporary. It's just a slap on the hand because
Oh,
eventually,
I think so. We've been through this shit before.
no matter who gets canceled, a year from now they're going to be in a movie. Their age is going to do something. I mean, it's going to be like, oh, we forgot. It's all temporary.
You're not wrong. Yeah, you're not wrong. We're already seeing, some of these canceled people come back. I mean, look at Louis, what Louis went through.
Yeah.
Louis back. That was a weird thing anyway, because no one said he didn't consensually ask.
Yeah.
He asked every woman, you mind if I play with myself in front of you?
Yeah.
At least he asked.
It's the power dynamic thing that people talk about. That's a real iffy gray area that people throw around that term power dynamic. It's kind
Sure.
of like the Ned situation on Try Guys. I don't know if you're familiar with that.
I know what Try Guys is. Oh, yeah, I heard about that.
He was sleeping with a coworker that was like,
And he was married, right?
He was married.
Yeah.
So he had an affair. I mean, that was the big part.
Yeah.
But he was sleeping with a coworker, and it was consensual. They were dating off the sides and everything like that.
They got rid of him, though, right? He's
Yeah,
gone. Yeah.
he's gone. And they were like, because of the power dynamic, this is just toxic behavior in our company, and we just don't condone
the
that.
toxicity shit's bullshit, man.
And it's like, if it's consensual, I get he was her boss, but it's not like he was forcing her into it and she was getting favors or anything like that.
I think I probably have this Midwest attitude about shit in general.
Yeah.
Like, is there sexism? Yes.
Yes.
But also, are you being sexist if you make a joke? Maybe not.
No.
It's kind of like that whole thing of when we were growing up in school, fag used to be like just a derogatory term.
Yeah.
It didn't mean like you were calling someone gay. You know, it's it's like black people owned the N-word.
Yeah.
You know, and then the gay community owned fag, and I'm good with that.
Yeah.
Like, I just don't use it anymore.
Yeah.
It's not to say I didn't. And does that make me a bad person because I did?
No.
I don't think so.
No.
I think it makes me just
You've
a
grown.
normal person.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's the biggest thing in life, right? You got to grow. You got to grow.
That's also like if you like watch old movies like that, and people are like, cancel this movie from the 70s. It's like you can't look at it from the lens of today. Like it was a different time, different
Sure.
place. I mean, with certain reasons. There's certain movies that like are really looking back are kind of bad.
Yeah, we
but
have a few trans people in the comedy community, you know, and I'll fuck up on a pronoun every now and again, but I'll catch it and I'll apologize and move on because I know that being a 42-year-old white male, like I'm in a certain demographic.
Yeah.
But also all of those people,
you're a very marginalized race.
Yeah, but I also think that there's all those people that are I don't know, whatever, you know, LGBTQ, whatever. I think that they would know that I try to respect them the best I can.
Sure.
And being a white male, I just do my best just not to be an asshole. That's the biggest thing about it, right?
Well, it's kind of similar. On another episode, we talked about Christian comedians. And I was like,
There's some great ones.
There's some great ones, and I have nothing against it. It's not my personal genre, but it's not something I have against it. But what I was getting at was they're usually the best I would feel at a good Christian joke or of taking a good Christian joke because they appreciate the effort and the talent and the skill of it.
Sure. Well, and I'll tell you this, man, as a comedian, clean comedy pays a lot better.
Yeah.
I mean, honest to God, you know, and that's something that not a lot of people talk about, but my highest paying gigs that I've ever made have been clean shows. And anyone that knows me knows that I'm not a clean comedian. But having that clean has, you know, saved it. I did
it gets you opportunities.
Yeah, I did a show last summer for the Frederick Douglass Women's Republican Convention in Oklahoma City. Which, by the way, there was only one African-American woman on the Frederick Douglass Women's Republican Convention, which I thought was interesting. That's Oklahoma for you.
Yeah.
But, you know, I did 20 minutes clean, and I came off, and someone called me. I had a friend with me that was sitting in the audience, and after I came off, I went and sat down with him, and he goes, I heard you described as risque. And I thought, okay, if that's, you know, I'll take risque with this group of women, you know. So, yeah, but clean pays better, bro.
I will say, so if we're going back to my history, like 15 years ago, I did stand up. I tried it one or two times.
Sure.
At the Looney Bin, actually.
Sure.
And this could have been a different management. I'm not trying to do anything
it
on
100% was, yes.
Okay, so I don't even remember what my bit was. It had something to do with like Jesus on the cross, but like, what if he got a splinter? Something like that. I don't even remember. It was 15 years ago.
Yeah.
But my friend who invited me was like, hey, they didn't like that. They don't want you back. Found out like years later that he was lying. It wasn't even Looney Bin that did that. So like I don't have a grudge on Looney Bin itself. It just that was honestly what
you just
kept
didn't
me.
have a good experience the first
Yeah,
time.
honestly, that devastated me so much they kept me from comedy for about 14 years.
Well, that's unfortunate.
Because like I stopped until last year.
Well, dude, you got to know that.
And again, that's
this
not
is a cutthroat
personally.
business, and that's something that a lot of these people won't talk about.
Yeah.
This is a cutthroat business because, listen, dude, and I learned this pretty early on. Like, my comedy's not for everybody.
Yeah.
And there's people that think I'm a hack. There's people that think I'm a meme comic.
And again, I'm not nodding onto you to
No,
agree.
you're good. You're good. People, even if you were, there's people that call me a dad comic, and I'm good with all of these because I don't do my comedy for comedians.
Yeah.
I do my comedy for the audience, and I know that I can go up and do a 40-minute set, and I know the ups and downs of it. I can ride the wave the whole way in. I know I'm going to get jokes all the way through my set, and that everybody's going to laugh and have a good time. And when I come off stage, people are going to say, hey, you're funny. That's all that matters to me. It doesn't matter what anybody else thinks, and so that's why I just try to. There's comedians in the community that I don't love, but I still treat them with respect.
Yeah.
Because there's somebody out there that really loves their comedy.
Yeah.
There's comics that aren't comics that just go up there and that are just funny people.
Yeah.
And, you know, in my head, they're not comedians, but that doesn't mean that they're not funny.
Yeah.
To some people who really like them.
Yeah.
It's all
a
arbitrary,
smorgasbord.
man.
It's. I mean, I've talked about it on another podcast too. Is you know, you may not like that joke, but the person next to you might have liked that joke, and the person next to you on that side might have liked the joke, and just the energy is infectious. So you may not have personally agreed with that joke or that bit, but the next one might get you.
Yeah, sure.
And also the energy's keeping up. I don't know. I'm still new to all this, so I'm not trying to like preach. But
no, man. You're right. I mean, I had a really good friend that's a comedian who I look up to and respect, and I consider a mentor to me in many ways. And she told me that that whenever you're doing comedy, you do it for I had a joke that was kind of inappropriate towards women. It wasn't funny to women. Men thought it was funny, but women didn't.
sure.
A little sexist. And she said, you doing that joke, and if you got a table full of people, it's couples or whatever. If you do a joke and the woman laughs, the man's gonna laugh. But if you do a joke and the man laughs, the woman's not necessarily gonna laugh. So you have to make sure that your comedy works for women as well as men.
Yeah.
And so I just dropped the joke. Like, it's no big deal to drop one joke. It's not a problem. But it's part of this learning process that we go through as comedians. Out of the shit that I was doing 2 years ago, there's 5 jokes that I still do. And I'm constantly writing all the time. So as I find something to put in one place, something else comes out. If I'm doing a 20-minute set, I know what my 20 minutes is. I know what my 30 minutes is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, it's just about repetition. It's about stage time and just, trying to get better.
Yeah.
All the time.
This episode of Unloading Meat is not brought to you by your favorite box delivery food service like HelloFresh or ButcherBox, but it could be. And honestly, it probably should be. Have you seen this guy? I'm a full-time fat ass. And honestly, if I had one of those subscriptions, I probably would lose quite a bit of weight because I've looked at the food and it looks pretty damn delicious. I mean, all food looks delicious to me. That's kind of the problem. But if you want to stop these fake ads, make sure to reach out to your favorite company like HelloFresh and tell them to sponsor Unloading Meat. Now, back to the show.
Constantly evolving.
I will say, and I want to personally thank you for this. I honestly wish I had the clip of it. I haven't finished that episode yet.
Yeah.
You come up quite a bit on episodes.
Oh, no.
No, to get away. As far as just everybody's very grateful for you and the community.
Well, they're good people, man. I
well,
really try to treat
you are.
everybody well. Well, thank you.
And what I'm getting at is I talked
appreciate
at least 2 episodes, I know specifically. The first night I went out to your open mic, you changed my life. I hope you know that.
Well, how's that?
So I went up, and that was the first time I had done it in a long time. I did one before where Katie Styles hosted it at the Tulsa Comedy Club.
Oh, yeah. Katie's sweetheart.
Yeah, shout out to Katie. She's awesome.
Yeah,
she was
she's
hilarious.
Really funny. She's one of the best comedians in Tulsa.
Yeah, I will say that also.
Yeah, I love Katie a lot, and she's a dear friend of mine.
Nice. I would love to have her on the show. I think she'd be awesome on here.
Yeah, bring her out here, man. She's great. It'd help if you didn't live in BFE.
Yeah,
I
know.
It is what it is. But anyway, continue. Sorry.
It's all right. But at the end of my set or end of the show, you were like, "Hey, if I call your name, like those 5 names or whatever, come talk to us after the show." I was one of the names.
Yeah.
That meant a lot to me. First off,
I thought you were funny.
I didn't know anybody. I knew nobody, and also I don't know if I told you personally, I suffer from a lot of depression and anxiety issues. So like I'm antisocial.
I think I've heard you bring it up. Yeah.
I'm very. If I don't know anybody, I'm like.
Was that the night that you
scared
came out
shitless.
to the bar with us?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So you invited me to the bar, and then I kind of Kevin Smithed it like Silent Bob and just stood on the brick wall
You
of
did.
the bar.
Yeah. You did. But that's all right. Yeah. I mean, and I assumed it's your first time out. You don't know anybody.
I was
That's what you're
smoking
gonna do.
weed, trying not to have a panic attack.
Yeah. You're just reading the room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
There's a lot of people just like you in this community that are very. I mean, we're all broken toys. That's what I always say. We're all broken toys. We got something wrong with us.
All comedians have some kind of trauma.
Yeah, 100%. And the cuck that was here with Missy.
Yeah.
God bless him. I know we didn't say his name during the episode, so I won't either. But he'd be the first to tell you all the problems that he's dealt with in his life, and he's the sweetest guy in the world.
Yeah. Oh God, he was a sweetheart. And also, it was funny because he was here with Missy, and then the next night I went out to the Cellar Dweller, and he's the one hosting it.
Oh yeah. He filled in. he filled in for him, and JB filled in for
And
him.
I had no idea who he was. Didn't recognize him when he was over here. And then the next day, I go to the Cellar Dweller. I'm like, oh hi.
Yeah, he's been in the community for quite a while. He's ex-military and things like this, but really, broken up here, but has a heart of gold, man.
Yeah.
And I will say that about him. And he knows he's broken in the head too. I'm not saying anything he would not say out loud. So
Shout out to Cook. Shout out to Cook.
Yeah, no shit.
But back to you on at the colony. It was a colony.
Yeah.
I talked about this on the podcast, and I hope you don't mind.
Oh, you're good.
You brought me over, embraced me, and introduced me to everybody.
Yeah.
You were like, hey, to Missy, you're like, hey, this is Jared. He did an open mic tonight. Very funny.
Yeah.
And you just went one by one. You introduced me like that. And, dude, that meant the world to me. I
Well,
hope you know that.
How else you gonna meet everybody?
I get that, but not everybody would do that. I hope you understand. I will say I was very surprised at the community in the Tulsa scene that more often than not, they do that in the Tulsa scene. Everybody here has been so welcoming and inviting so far that I've met. But you really did put that over the moon, and really, I really
thanks,
thank
man.
you.
I appreciate that. I think you're a super good guy. So, and I think you're funny. And
Well,
really, that's the key to like this whole comedy thing. Like, if you're funny, who gives a fuck about anything else, right?
Yeah.
Like, nothing else really matters unless you're just an absolute asshole.
Yeah.
Which there's probably some of those around, but I just don't fuck with them.
Yeah.
It's not even that I hate them or anything else. It's just I just don't fuck with them.
Well, then even Joe mentioned that like you had told her about me, like you'd helped. She was like, she asked or something like that. Like, who is that guy?
Yeah,
Something
it came up somewhere in conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah. I told her that I thought you were cool and you hung out with us one night. And yeah.
Thank you, man. It
No
really meant a
problem,
lot.
man.
And like, honestly, that night I talked to Joe about it, or I talked to Missy about it. That night changed the entire direction of this podcast.
Oh yeah.
So before that, COVID and trying to build up all this, it was like, how do I do a one-man podcast by myself? In COVID,
Yeah, it's difficult.
it's difficult. Then it's
Yeah.
also who do you bounce off of? And then eventually I hired on Craigslist my friend Stefano. He came in, he's not my friend. He's not
yeah,
here
the guy
right
who
now.
emailed me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He does the editing and all that stuff. So that's where we kind of bonded a lot. He's still an asshole. I mean, he'll probably edit this or something like that, but
I don't think you're an asshole, buddy. I don't know you. So
you'll meet him sometime.
yeah, okay. All right.
But we talked what was it? Where was this talking about? Oh. So we were going to do a two-man podcast, just him back and forth. Like he was going to be my Jamie from Joe Rogan.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
But even that was harder. So then I met you guys. You did such a cool thing for me at the Colony. I was introduced to burlesque, comedians,
Oh yeah.
bands.
There's a lot, man.
Everybody at that Colony show was there that night.
Yeah.
And then you introduced me to everybody, and it just kind of was like, man, there's such a good scene in Tulsa. I want to broadcast this.
I think there's a real opportunity here, and I've heard this whispered around a little bit here lately. I think there's an opportunity right now for Tulsa to be the next Austin.
That's what I feel.
When it comes to the talent we have here, not just comics, although there is a very talented comedy community in Tulsa.
Entertainment in general.
Well, I think also, we've got all the movie shit that we're doing now too, and all the incentives that the state of Oklahoma is giving to these movie studios. I know there's a big movie studio with Prairie something down in Oklahoma City. We need to do that here in Tulsa too, because I think we're more inclusive in Tulsa than Oklahoma City is. And I think a lot of that has to do with the size of Oklahoma City. I think it's one of the biggest cities in the nation as far as square footage. Like there's square miles.
Yeah.
And because it's so spread out. But in Tulsa, we're not that spread out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We do have the sleeper communities, Jinx and Broken Arrow and Bixby and Owasso and, all those.
Yeah.
But I think Tulsa has a real opportunity to really blow up right now. We have right now in Tulsa, there's 3 comedy clubs. And I think there's an opportunity for all 3 of them to have their niche.
Yeah.
I believe that Tulsa Comedy Club needs to really lean on its Hispanic and African American comedians because that's something the other 2 don't really service.
Larry Tibbs, right?
Yeah, Tibbs. Yeah,
Tibbs just did the show there, right? Or
he filmed his special on Sunday and it was really good. We were there. It was great. And I do some booking for Tulsa Comedy Club. They treat me like family over there.
I would love to have them on here just to talk about how they got started in the comedy club and everything like that. Just anytime.
I can talk to Coach. See what he says.
I just want to have people from Tulsa. I want to
Well,
have
the guy that runs that, they own 6 places.
Okay.
So they own 6 different bars and the comedy club and 2 strip clubs and but he's just a hard worker, man.
And it's always been nice. Every time I've gone on in there, he's been very the
Yeah.
whole staff, everybody's been
Yeah,
super
they're very
nice.
cool people, man. They treat people really well. And then we got Bricktown getting ready to open on top of Looney Bin. Bricktown is brings A-listers in, or at least what I would consider A-listers, and Looney Bin brings in the second tier, and there's nothing wrong with that, at all. I don't want in any way think that I'm talking down about Looney Bin because Looney Bin's been great to me too. But I think Bricktown's got a real opportunity. I know for sure, like David Tell's already booked for a weekend here. Like,
Nice. That's my favorite comedian.
David Tell's a killer, man. He's one of those goats, man. He's one of those guys that's like on the Mount Rushmore of comedy.
Agreed. And honestly, Insomniac was a huge influence on me. That's honestly like phase 2 of our show is I would love to do like after we do shows and stuff like that.
And go out.
But also like go to like vintage stock and stuff like that. And there's a lot of comedians that like collect and like are into horror and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Let's go to a vintage stock and let's just like film it. And let's chalk it and let's see what you guys collect and just chat.
Better than that, go to Vintage Toy Mall.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
But just
Better than Vintage Stock.
if we go to traveling places, you know, like different towns, stuff like that.
Sure.
If comedians want to come hang out, let's record it. Let's talk about what you guys hang out with, collect, what it's your house like. Just
Hell yeah, man.
I would love to do a 2023 version of like Insomniac, but around Tulsa.
That was a great show. He did a lot of fun stuff, but
it was so ahead of its time.
Yeah, I'm a big fan. He's great. But I just feel like that there's a real opportunity here for us to really blow up.
Agreed.
We have a lot of local bars that really support the scene too. You know,
Yep.
Cellar Dweller, and you know, there's 20 of them. I don't want to get into naming them all because it's not fair. But
Sure, and
you
then
know,
you're also going to leave someone out
sure,
or forget.
sure.
Yeah.
But there's some great ones out there that are great and supportive, and
Yeah.
also, you know, I said there's 3 comedy clubs. I guess there's a 4th one too because there's one in Broken Arrow that just opened up.
I heard
too.
about that. I started following them. I haven't been out there yet.
Go Laugh or Go something.
Yeah, it's GEAUX or something like that. Go.
Yeah.
Shout
The
out to
owner,
them.
the owner of that place reached out to me too. I mean, you know, there's if you're funny, there's a stage for you.
Yeah.
Here, and you don't have to go far.
Hell, there's even the people like shout out to the Sesh Lounge people.
Oh
They
yeah, they're
started
great
doing their
too.
open mics on Thursdays, and like they've been super supportive of the Tulsa Comedy Club. and
Yeah,
stuff
they're
like that.
great, man. They came out. We did a fundraiser for a local comic, Bo Orcutt, who has testicular cancer, and they came out and donated money to
They
to
matched
him.
the
the
winning.
comedy club. They
Yeah.
matched what the club gave, and then you know we took donations and stuff too. You know, made him a few $100 just to help out, man, because he's not able to work, you know, because he's going through chemo. So that's another thing, man. Like other places, I just don't know if they do that,
Yeah.
and that's not the first fundraiser that's happened for
Yeah.
Bo. Nor do I think it will be the last. You know, this is a ongoing thing. You know,
Well,
this will take a little while.
Well, to get back to like how supportive and welcoming this community has, I only know maybe a handful of people so far in the Tulsa community.
Sure.
I had my rec last week. You saw the cards, stuff like
Yeah.
that. Comedians reached out to me, the people on Instagram stuff that checked on me more than some of my oldest friends.
Yeah.
Already, they were like, "Are you okay?"
Yeah.
Because they knew I was going to be on the show like Thursday and Friday and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, it just already people have been so welcoming here, and I love this community.
I think as long as you continue to respect people, they'll respect you.
Yeah.
You know,
And
so-
I want to continue to put out good energy. I really feel like I want to pay it forward. So I want everybody that wants to be an entertainer, podcaster, YouTuber, oddity, stand up, come on the show.
Sure.
Anybody from
We've
Tulsa?
got some fun people in
Yeah.
Tulsa too that are different.
And then
Yeah.
do you watch Reservation Dogs or ever heard of it? You've heard of
I
it.
know what it is. Unfortunately, I have not watched it, but
Okay.
I've heard it's very good. And I know people that have been on the movie, on the show.
huge influence to me because I
Yeah.
was like, that dude's from Tulsa,
Yeah,
and
Sterling,
he's making Sterling.
Archer,
Yeah.
I do know him.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I just haven't seen the show.
Yeah,
That
really?
doesn't mean I don't. Yeah,
That guy, him and Bobby Lee
Bobby Lee.
are huge inspiration to me. Bobby Lee, I will honestly say, kept
Bobby
me
Lee
al-
is a crazy person.
Bobby Lee kept me alive
He's a
because
crazy person.
Tiger Belly, I was through some dark shit,
Yeah,
and his talk about sexual assault in the past and like how he found stand up afterwards
Sure.
stuff, very similar to my story.
yeah.
So that when my wife left me and all that shit happened, Tiger Belly saved my life. So when
Katie saved my life. My girlfriend saved my life, so I get it.
also I gotta say, first time I met her, she was another person that put her arm around me, like, "Hey, welcome to here" and stuff like that.
She's the greatest.
Katie's
man.
awesome.
Yeah, she's the greatest. I know how blessed I am.
Yeah,
so,
you are.
Um,
She's awesome.
she's everything I'm not, and
Yeah.
which is what you look for, I
Yeah.
guess. You know. Yeah.
Well, we had Castro and Joe Miller on here, and
Yeah, they're
that
the best,
couple
man.
is crazy and just awesome.
I remember
love
when he
the
was
clip.
crushing on her. I remember when she was with this other dude that was a little skinny piece of shit. Like, I mean, Castro. I love Castro. Let me say that. Sean, which he hates. He's gonna hate that I said that. I love
Shout
him.
out Sean.
I love him to death. But Joe's
Sean.
my little sister. Joe's family to me before I knew Castro, and Castro became family to me too, separately, and then they got together. So I remember when both of them were fucking other people. But you know, they're great together, and they both have made each other better.
Yeah.
You know?
And that's what I was getting at between you and Katie was like I could see the similar thing was just like you guys have really good energy and you just seem like a great couple together.
We do our best, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. You know, the thing is, I think that, especially being a little bit older, man, it's like I just don't fight. Like I'm past that.
Yeah.
So like, if there's something that she's upset about, well, let's just fix the problem.
Yeah.
Whatever that problem is, you know, and she supports me being a comedian because she knows that in the long run it'll pay off.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I don't make much money.
That's a
right
good
now.
woman, man.
Yeah, she's fucking great, man. She supports. She knows. If I wasn't good at this, if I wasn't constantly progressing, then it wouldn't work.
Yeah.
But I do constantly progress. So that's why it works, because I continue to work harder on it constantly, all the time.
Yeah, I don't know what we got on that subject, the tangent for either,
I
but
don't-
I'm
I
happy.
I don't know. We were talking about her. Well, you brought her up because of how she was, how she's supportive as well.
Yeah.
And she is. She loves everybody too.
Yeah.
And she'll tell you, this is my favorite thing that she does, is she says, I hate comedy. But whenever you go to a comedy show and Katie's there, she laughs the loudest.
Yeah.
So I
Super
think
supportive.
it's super funny that she hates comedy. By the way, every joke that I've ever told her that I've written, she hates it.
Really?
Yeah. Until I say it on stage in front of a room full of people that laugh, and then she decides it's funny. But that's fine.
Yeah.
That's to be expected. That's why she's not the one I bounce
She'll
my
make you
jokes
better,
off of.
man.
Well, I'm not going to bounce my jokes off of her, you know.
Yeah.
I'll read them to her, but I don't write the jokes for her. You know what I mean?
I had to learn that the hard way with my roommate because he's a very just black and white stoic kind of dude,
Yeah.
and I'll tell a joke and I'm waiting for it, and he'll just look at you like, "Are you done? That was it? Oh, that was it?"
Oh, yeah.
And I'm just crushed.
Sure, of course.
So I've learned to kind of just stop that.
Well, also, like, I mean, you've done some mics, man. Like,
Yeah.
There's nothing rougher than a room full of comedians.
Yeah.
That's why I always tell everybody, like, you have to use those mics, man. They're your gym.
Yeah.
You know, like, if I was like some buff motherfucker, I'd be at the gym every day working out. But I'm not. I'm in a comedy club telling fucking jokes, and you try to make them better and better. So it's not about the first joke. It's about how what the joke ends up being.
Yeah.
So it's not necessarily how you wrote it. It's what it turns into at the end.
I talked to Castro. I'm gonna get it. My next tattoo is my favorite word now is iteration.
Okay.
We were just talking about like
your third iteration of the joke.
yeah, like just you're constantly iterating on the idea, and it's kind of like you're always learning too.
It's evolution.
Yes.
I mean, yeah.
And that word kept coming on as we were working on what this show was going to be.
Yeah.
And it's just that word iteration just kept coming up so much that now it's drilled into me. So that's why I want it tattooed.
It's
It's
your
just
15th iteration of the show.
yeah.
I
This has
gotcha.
been a lot of different things.
Sure, I get it.
Uh,
I get it. I mean, that's how it goes, man.
but this is how 2023 is. It's make it or break it. I've put everything into this: the podcast, the stand up, the house is paid off, the car's paid off. I'm divorced. Everything in here
Good
is
for
going to be
you.
this.
Good for you being divorced. I'm proud of you.
Twice.
Twice divorced, huh?
Twice divorced, 2 times survivor of suicide.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Are you a survivor of suicide?
I'm a failure.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like survivor's the right word.
Well, I talked about if I tried a third time, that's why I say fat, so the rope will break.
I don't. Were you actually trying to kill yourself, or were you reaching out for help?
Both.
Okay, all right.
It was pills and alcohol. Like I don't care if I wake up the next morning, kind of thing.
This just got dark.
It really got dark. Yeah, we're gonna be on BET soon.
Yeah, no shit.
So dark.
behind the podcast.
Oh, I was just saying it's so dark it was black.
Oh, okay. You were being racist. I got it.
Yeah, we'll cut that part out.
bro, I get it.
Subtle racism is hilarious.
There's nothing wrong with racism.
That's a direct quote from Rosco, guys. We'll
That's
put that on
right.
social media.
Straight
Rosco,
straight from
nothing
Oklahoma.
wrong with racism. We cured racism just like Biden cured COVID, guys.
Yeah. Well, it's not cured
It's
till
cured.
May.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. It's almost cured.
it's almost cured. Well, I mean, I could delay this episode so that way you don't have to worry about your wedding at all.
Jesus. What are we gonna do with this shit, man? Fucking. I hate politics, yet
I
I
know.
love it. I love politics, yet I hate them.
Because it's just genuine
Well,
material for us.
It's so fucking divisive, man. It's so divisive.
I know.
I have a lot of political jokes, and I say very few of them at shows. I'll do them at open mics.
There's a time and place for things.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I got a show this weekend at the VFW. You know, I'm not doing no fucking Trump jokes there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's
I
just
don't
not
know,
it ain't
you see
gonna
the
work.
Star Lord, there's a Trump mask inside of it.
Oh, is there?
Yeah.
God, that poor Star Lord.
Well, it had been because I bought the mask and then I tried to put it on that mount and there's nothing in between, so it just falls through. So I had to have something to put in the mask, and my dad had a Trump mask for Halloween just as a joke one time, and he threw it to me, and I was like, "Oh, that works perfectly for the
So,
hair."
dude, I get why people like Trump.
Yeah.
I don't like him,
Yeah.
but I get why people do. I understand that there's a lot of people are sick of this woke society. I understand.
Yeah.
Even being fairly woke myself. I hate it sometimes.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I don't do hatred.
Yeah.
I just don't do it.
Yeah.
Like I'm over that. I'm a fucking adult.
That's kind of where I'm at now. I have some family members I don't talk to anymore because of I recently came out.
Oh, okay.
So and that
Congratulations.
Kind of shit, thank you. But that kind of shit is like I don't need your love if it has an asterisk on it. Like, oh yeah,
Sure.
like, oh yeah, we want to be around you and stuff, but could you not mention any of that? And also, we're just
Sure.
uncomfortable with that part. And I'm like, yeah, I don't really need that part. And we kind of had to blow up at Thanksgiving, as you're supposed to do.
Yeah, well, that's Thanksgiving.
tradition.
Yeah. That's Oklahoma Thanksgiving. I
So
think.
that's kind of where I'm at now. Is like anybody that's like, oh yeah, I love you, but with an asterisk, I'm like, yeah, I don't really need. It's cool. Like we're good.
Yeah, I have a transgender cousin too that's had some problems with the family, and I get it. Like it just sucks. Like
Yeah.
You can't pick your family though,
Nope.
bro. And that's the thing. Like
I go
You
by
just can't.
choices. I go by character, stuff like that, and that's how I
Sure.
make my decisions on who I want to hang out with. We're not going to name names, but the person that married in that we don't talk to anymore, I don't talk to anymore, is one of those people that like was the anti-vax that was so proud that was like,
oh yeah.
I had to make my whole company evacuate the place so I can go and sign paperwork because all those sheep took their shots.
Yeah, my daughter has never been vaccinated. She's an anti-vaxxer, and whatever.
Yeah.
Like I don't care.
But when he
But don't whine to me if
yeah.
you get COVID.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
That's what I'm saying. Just don't whine.
oh yeah, they got sick of shit one time, and I was laughing my ass
Yeah,
off.
I got I've gotten 3. I think I still probably need one more, but I've gotten 3 shots. It's like fuck it, man. Like if it keeps me from getting Katie sick, Katie has autoimmune diseases.
Yeah,
So if it keeps me from getting her sick, that's all I care about.
Yeah.
Because I spend 5 nights a week in bars or comedy clubs or,
Yeah.
fucking venues that have a lot of people in them. Like this is what I do for a living. I don't want to get other people sick.
Yeah.
Plus, I know I've had it at least twice, and I didn't have to go to the fucking hospital for
Yeah.
it because I was vaccinated.
Yeah.
I just didn't feel good for 2 or 3 days, and I'm better.
And plus, I have perfect 5G coverage,
Yeah, no shit, right? So do my neighbors. Yeah.
even with a tin roof.
Yeah, figure that shit up.
Thanks, Biden.
Thanks, Elon.
Oh yeah, thanks
Yeah,
Elon
I
too.
think Elon did it, or Bill Gates. I don't know. Somebody with a lot more money than we got.
Yeah, something Amazon Dick Rocket.
Right.
This episode of Unloading Meat is not brought to you by your favorite male enhancement such as Blue Chew or whatever other names they have. I really don't know anything about the products. I obviously don't take them. This guy over here, Stefano, does, right? You take them? Which one do you take? You don't? What do you mean you don't? Obviously you don't need. Wow. I'm just sorry, guys. I kind of lost my train of thought. I'm just really more impressed that he actually got laid. If you're tired of these fake ads, make sure to reach out to your favorite sponsors like Blue Chew and tell them to sponsor Unloading Meat. Now back to the show. But also, you also know, even on open mic nights, how to carry on a show because I've seen you like Joe Miller came in on Friday.
Yeah.
And they came in and they did some spots they weren't even planning on.
Right.
And just like, I think that was like the third time you were like, oh, and our final guy is going to be this.
Yeah.
But you just know when people come in and you were very generous. And also you just knew how to keep the energy up and close the show with a bang.
Yeah. I mean,
So props to you, man.
I'm glad to see. I'm glad. Thank you. I'm glad to see these people coming back out, man. Because Joe and Castro have been busy, man.
Yeah.
They haven't really been out doing stuff lately.
Well, they got married,
too. and she's changed jobs, and
They don't need to see this fat ass. They had Kevin Smith.
yeah, they just had a lot of shit going on, man. They're super busy, and Castro has his rap battle league, so they're super busy. So it's good to see him, man. I miss some people in the community that just kind of drop off for a little while. It happens. I mean, it just happens.
Real
Like,
life gets in the way
yeah.
sometimes. I mean, nobody's faulting you.
It's like, there's probably 100 people in Tulsa right now that would identify as comedians, right?
Yeah.
And out of that, there's probably 20 that are good comedians. And out of that 20, there's 5 that are going to make it out of here. And that doesn't necessarily mean they're going to be on fucking TV.
Sure.
That just means that they're going to be road comics or
Yeah.
whatever. And, the ones that are going to make that are the ones that put in the fucking effort and put in the work and are constantly striving and pushing for new things.
Agreed.
And that's why I'm one of those people that is going to make it out of here because I work my fucking ass off.
You do, and it
And-
shows. It
and-
really
well,
does
you have
show.
to. You fucking have to, dude. if this is what you want to do, you have to push.
Well, dude, you inspired me, man.
Oh, yeah, there's no quit, man. I mean, yeah, I'm a fat fuck, but there's no quit in me.
Not just in the obesity.
Yeah. Well, I do like to eat, man. I did tell you I stopped at McDonald's on the way here. Had to get some chicken nuggets in my blood.
I had to stop eating. I can't eat McDonald's anymore. I had my gallbladder out like 10 years ago.
Oh, nice.
And McDonald's fucks with me hard. Like, I get super sick when I eat McDonald's. Something about whatever's in it.
I became lactose intolerant in the last 2 years. Where the fuck's that come from? I love milk, and now it just makes me fart. I don't know, bro. Yeah. So yeah, that's what I've got coming up, man. And we always like this summer's just gonna be super busy. Like I'll be down in Texas at the Addison Improv at some point. Creek in the Cave. I'll be doing the Blue Room in Springfield, Missouri. I'm sure I'm going to be going back to Duluth. Like, you just take the shit as it comes, man.
Yeah.
And you just there's no breaks with me, so you just have to keep doing it and keep writing. I hope by the fall, maybe early winter, I plan on filming my first special. So
nice, man.
Well, you get it out, and then you start over.
Yeah.
And you start on some new shit.
Yeah.
And so that's what I'm going to do. Like I've been doing the same material I've been polishing the same material for 2 years.
Yeah.
And once it's, you can only polish a turd so much, man. So, get that shit on tape and then move on and start the new shit.
Yeah.
Like, that's what it takes.
I really want to be a student of the craft. We talked on another episode that, like, I want to be the guy that's like on the open mics, on the first one there, last one there. I want to watch every set. I want to see timing. I want to study. I want to learn.
I think that's important to do too. You have a lot of people come into open mic, and once they go up, they're out the door. And
yeah, not just for the
that's not supportive. Number one, but number two, like you may miss out on some really great shit that might inspire you.
Yeah,
to write something else.
Especially if you're gonna riff on them or something later on or something like that. They're in the crowd.
Sure. And dude, I think that like most of the people in the community would be happy with the tag.
Yeah.
Like if you heard a joke and you think, oh, this would be funny to tag on the end.
Yeah.
Fucking give them the tag, man.
I hope she's okay with this. Missy, the cellar dweller, was talking about Brendan Fraser and the whale.
Yeah.
And I had a bit about Brendan. I look like the guy that Brendan Fraser's trying to trade to get an Oscar.
Right.
And she was going on this thing and like people like talking about how, I don't want to spoil her bits or anything, but she was just basically like the people that were anti him because he was portraying a fat guy. He wasn't actually a fat person.
He's pretty fat, but okay.
But he was putting a fat suit. It wasn't.
Oh, right. A fatter suit. Gotcha. Yeah.
They wanted a real fat person, not somebody in a fat suit for
what's that whole getting mad about
for inclusion and shit. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And then she's like, I don't care if he's not real fat. And I just shouted out, I go, he's trans fat.
That's funny.
Fucking just kill the whole fucking room.
Funny,
it just worked.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love
grab that tag.
Yeah, grab that tag.
Yeah, I'll tell her grab that tag because that's funny.
But I also being so new to the scene, I don't want to step on somebody's toes, and I don't know where that line is yet.
At an open mic, it's kind of tough to do. I mean, just as long as you're not talking over somebody.
But I also knew her too, so it was okay. I'm still learning those lines.
As cellar dweller, I sit there at the open mic, and I always have my microphone right here. So if somebody says something and I have a tag for it, I'll throw it in the middle of their fucking set. I don't give a shit.
Nice.
They don't like it, fuck them. They're just gonna say fuck you, shut up anyway. So, that's what I'm doing. I'm just being funny. It's what we do. So.
So, was she a hooker or prostitute? Sex worker. I'm not trying to shame. I'm just more curious. She wasn't? You went on a date? How the fuck are you getting laid? And how the fuck are you not needing a company like Blue Chew? Who, coincidentally, is not sponsoring today's episode of Unloading Meat. But they could be. They could be. If you're tired of these fake ads, make sure to reach out to your favorite sponsors like Blue Chew and tell them to sponsor this show. Now, back to the episode.
Hey, dude, I'm glad that you came out to that mic. It's a fun mic. We're going to do it this week, too.
I'll be out.
But this is Super Bowl, so we're going to start a little late.
Okay.
Just because I want everybody to be able to watch Super Bowl if they want to. So, but yeah, man, that's a great mic because Cepeda and I work really well together. This is another one of those things like, I know that my comedy is not Cepeda's comedy, and Cepeda's comedy may not be my comedy, but together we work well together, and we're both supportive of each other. And I think that that's the real key in this whole fucking community, man, is like, regardless, like if I didn't like your comedy, that doesn't mean I can't support you. Let's just fucking support each other.
That's what
like this
that's
is so
what
hard.
I want this to be. I want this to be a hub for Tulsa comedy. I want everybody to be able to grow here, show your stuff,
Yeah.
get out here. I'm only gonna grow if you guys grow, and vice versa. I want to be able to like grow all Tulsa.
Nobody knows how difficult it is to do comedy until you try to get on stage and do it. Man.
Yes.
And yes, there are the very, very few and far between that are naturally good at it, but there's so few and far between. We all work so hard at this, and it's so crazy to do these shows. And my favorite is after a show, somebody comes up to you and you're not the headliner, and they say, "Man, you're better than the headliner." That's like it's the best feeling in the world.
I hope to one day get that.
And and I always just tell them, like, you're humbled by it too, though, because you're like, I know how funny the headliner is, and they just like my comedy more.
Yeah.
Which once again is completely 100% okay. 40-year-old white people are gonna love my comedy. You know what I mean? It's just what it is. And if I've got a 25-year-old black guy that's my headliner and they didn't like his comedy, well, that's just because they just didn't like his comedy.
Yeah.
I know this guy's funny.
Yeah.
So
it's kind of like going into this, going to my stand-up. I'm on YouTube. I'm looking research on like old stand-up clips, George Carlin, stuff like that. I'm just like, I'm always trying to research and learn.
Sure.
I'm trying to take this seriously. I hope you see that.
Sure.
One of the best clips, I don't even remember who said it. It may have been Andrew Santino lately on one of his podcasts or something like that. But he was saying like,
Cheeto Santito.
People were always like, man, that person in front of me crushed. And now I'm like, God, I got to follow that. Don't ever be like that. Just be like, man, they crushed. Great stuff. Thank you for warming up the room for me. Like, look at it completely different view and be excited that the place is laughing and you're bringing something different to the energy already being up. I don't know. That's what his take was on it. And to me, that was like, oh, that just clicked in my head of like,
sure, bro. And
I don't know if you know it's Friday. I tried to really embrace that. Like,
yeah, you can kill an audience too. Like just as easy as you can grab onto somebody else's energy, you can kill it too.
But I really tried to like think that and keep in my mind when you guys were like, hey, you're up next. I was like, dude, whatever energy he's bringing, I'm just gonna be like happy.
Yeah.
And instead of like being down because he crushed it and I'm nervous, I tried to just embrace and like ride the wave.
That's what you have to do. Yes. Because if you have somebody that's, man, it's really weird. Like, if you do comedy shows, like especially stuff where it's like a showcase, we have multiple people, like usually 5, 6, 7 people, something like that. Sometimes you get some crazy ones in Tulsa, have like 10 or 11. But anyway, when you have that many people, I always feel like your best spots are your first spot and your last spot.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't want to go first, but I'm like, that's the best spot, man.
Yeah.
Like either first or last.
Set
like
the mood.
And you're not going to be good enough for last. So being first is your best spot then because you're setting the energy. As long as you know your jokes are funny, that's all that matters. You get in there and do your jokes with confidence. People are going to fucking laugh.
It's very funny, and it's also very similar. I know you're not into wrestling, but I really try to take a pro wrestling approach to my comedy.
Sure.
As far as pro wrestlers,
I used to be, man. Attitude Era, late 90s, WWE, WWF, was my shit. But that's a long time ago.
If you ever dabble, I would really give AEW a shot.
I've heard a lot of good things
It's more
about
like
it.
Attitude, and they don't treat people like idiots. The storylines make sense.
Sure,
it's like
I knew
Game
like
of Thrones.
Jericho was involved with it and stuff. Like I'm aware of it. I know CM Punk's in it. And I know some of the guys that just part of the problem is I just don't have time, dude.
Yep.
Like I'm just so fucking busy. Like, and your buddy TJ, AJ, you guys are talking a lot about all the TV shows and shit you watch. I've got all that shit that I watch with Katie too. Like Yellowstone and we just finished Walking Dead last week because we were waiting for the last season to come out. Blah blah blah. But yeah, I mean, like there's shows and shit we watch. I got her watching through Sopranos with me because she's never seen Sopranos. And I introduced her. We watched Game of Thrones, like all these things.
I bring up Game of Thrones when I talk about AEW because they do long-term storytelling. So like some of
you
their,
said like 2-year storylines.
Yeah, so like it's very like Game of Thrones when you talk about storylines on that. It's kind of similar.
Yeah, and God, Last of Us is so good.
Yes,
I heard you guys talking about
that.
It's really good. What'd you think of the 3rd episode?
It was probably one of me personally as a bi man.
Yeah,
that it made me bawl.
It was
It was very touching.
Well, what I like is that like you could never watch that show, right?
Yeah.
But you could just take that episode out, and it could just like you could watch a movie about that episode.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I don't have a PlayStation. I've been an Xbox guy. So Last of Us was one of those games that I always wanted to play because it was an exclusive.
I'm replaying it right now as I watch the show every week.
So I've went through, and I've watched all the cutscenes, like because they put them together like a movie on YouTube. So I've watched all the cutscenes of both Last of Us and Last of Us 2. So now I know
And you
Like,
see
I
how
know what
cinematic
I-
that game is.
Well,
Like,
also, and I see how they changed it because that guy wasn't.
he was already Frank was already dead in the game.
Yes, but they didn't say that they were together. They kind of alluded to it a little bit.
It's a letter.
Yeah, I
yeah.
saw the letter. Yes.
So back then, I mean, you got to remember that game was made in 2013.
Yeah.
So
that was pretty
even back
progressive.
then, pretty progressive because
Yeah.
even Ellie was lesbian in that. They even talk about she's gay in the show.
Yes, I knew that. Yeah, I knew that in the 2 she comes out as a lesbian. Yeah.
But there's even a prequel part of that game where it talks about her first experience with a girl and stuff like
Okay.
that. But again, that was 2 gay stories in a 2013 game.
Yeah.
In a AAA PlayStation first title.
Yeah.
So
was
that
great
held a
game.
lot of accolades for like just the LGBT community and all that stuff.
You
So
ever do Grand Theft Auto?
yeah, I'm
So like Ballad of Gay Tony is
Yeah.
super good and super like it sounds like it's gonna be like bad, but if you play through it, it's really a good story.
it's kind of like Kevin Smith's content. He always adds a little gay stuff in there because
Sure.
he has a gay brother.
Yeah.
And
A
it's,
bear. Yes. Yeah. I love Kevin, man. He's the best.
My bucket list. I want to meet him. This
You
podcast
will.
is-
If you want to, you will, because he's everywhere. You know,
I'm getting out
Kevin
there.
makes himself accessible to the fans, which I appreciate.
Well, one of my biggest regrets is during COVID when I was at the height of like scared shitless to come out of my house and stuff like
Yeah.
that. I mean, I used to do karaoke. That was my outlet before stand up.
Yeah.
Was karaoke. Was on the stage. I had fun doing karaoke.
Sure.
I was singing. I was performing. COVID changed all that to where I was having panic attacks. And the last time I tried to do karaoke with my wife, now my ex-wife, I had a panic attack just signing up. Like
Jeez.
that's how bad I was, and that's now you can see where I am on the stage.
Sure.
So, what were we getting at? What were we on the subject of?
You're talking about Kevin Smith.
Kevin Smith. I want to meet him because my biggest regret right now is I was too scared to go meet Jason David Frank at a con in Tulsa,
Oh yeah, he was at my buddy's. At
And he
Buddy's
died.
Toy Mall.
and I
Yeah.
have a Green Ranger tattoo on my arm.
Yeah.
Tommy, like Power Rangers was a huge thing for me, and my
Yeah,
biggest
because you're
regret.
just that age difference to where
Yeah.
Power Rangers would have
I was
been.
5 whenever they came out, and Tommy Oliver was my hero.
Yeah, so like I graduated high school in '98, so like that was a little too.
Yeah, that was 93.
Yeah, so like I was 13. I was into.
Yeah.
I wanted to touch girls' tits. That's what I was into at that age, and playing sports.
Oh, don't
so,
worry, I jerked off to Kimberly years later.
Is that the Pink Ranger?
Yeah, she's
Oh,
hot as shit.
all right. Yeah, I'm not aware of them, but I have a friend that's around your age that's also super into Power Rangers. I don't know anything about them. You know what I mean?
So like when Kevin Smith was fat and he had his heart attack,
Sure.
and he almost died. That was like, oh shit, I still haven't met him. That was like, oh my god, I really,
Yeah.
I don't know the guy. It's kind of like wrestling with Eddie Guerrero or somebody died.
Yeah.
Like you don't know them, but vicariously you've kind of grown up with them.
Sure.
So like you care about them in a way, even though you've never met them.
Sure. Ron Williams died. I bawled like a baby.
Yes,
Yeah, sure.
Louis Anderson. We talked about
Yeah,
that
Louis
with
great.
Missy. I was bawling because Life of Louis is a huge influence on me.
Yeah, Louis is a great fucking show, and he's a great guy, and the cartoon
Yeah.
was so good, and
But like when he died, but when Jason David Frank died, it was a huge regret. I still have it that I never got to meet him or shake his hand or
and
tell
you
him
could
that.
have, but your anxiety kept
Yeah.
you from
And
going,
so
yeah.
I don't want to have that happen with the stand-up, with Kevin
Yeah.
Smith, anybody. I want them on the show. So like Sterling Harjo,
Yeah.
Bobby Lee. I want this to get big enough to where I have them on here and I just tell them how personally, kind of like I told you today, how thankful and grateful I am for
Oh.
inspiring me.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. People tell me that shit, and I don't know. I mean, I'll just being me. This is
Yeah.
who I am. So
But you're real, man, and then honestly, I think that's going to work for you in the long run.
I scare a lot of people whenever I first came in the scene. They're like, "This guy's really not this nice." I know, they thought it was all bullshit, but 2 years in or whatever, I'm still the same person. They're
Yeah.
like, "All right, okay, just who he is."
Well, and honestly, like I said, you've helped me launch this because just your verbal confirmation to people of like, yeah, give me a what do you call it? You vouch for me.
Yeah, sure.
Has helped me launch this.
This is cool, man, and I'm glad that people are coming out to support you. I'm glad that the locals are latching onto you. That's good.
Yeah, and I want to pay it back. I want to support them. I
They're-
want to get
they're
all
good
their names
people,
out
man.
here. We
What-
talked about who at Looney Bin. Who is running Looney Bin?
Allie is the manager there.
I thought you had a different. Or maybe I'm thinking.
Tulsa Comedy Club is coach.
Stellar Dweller.
That's Saya.
Saya. Okay. The name's Saya. We don't have to say names or anything. But what I was getting at was back with like how we talked Tulsa Comedy Club. I would love to have the people that have those venues.
Yeah.
To even eventually come up here and like show their brand, like why they got into it, what
Sure.
their brand is, and like just promote their venues for comics to see where they can go.
So you went to Cellar Dweller.
Yes.
Did you use the bathroom at Cellar Dweller?
Not yet. I saw it.
You see the mirror?
No, I just saw the bucket when I threw my beer in whenever I drink it.
Oh, there's a famous so you TikTok, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
There's a TikTok out there of some girl walking into the bathroom at Cellar Dweller, and right above the toilet is a bus mirror.
Yeah.
That like flips down, and I mean it's there for you to do coke off of. That's what
Oh,
the mirror
okay.
is there for. And the girl walks up to it, and she's like, "Oh, look, they have this mirror here so that you can look at yourself from a different angle." I mean, like, I don't know if she really didn't know, like, because in the video, like, she just kind of sounds like she may not really know what it is, right?
Yeah.
But it's got 7 million views or something.
Jesus Christ. Holy
Yeah.
crap, man.
Yeah, on TikTok.
Shout out Cellar Dweller,
yeah,
man,
so
from TikTok.
So it's super funny that they have that there. Yeah, I love Cellar Dweller. I love Cy. I love Leon. It's a great bar. It's a cool bar, and the thing is, it's the best. The reason I say it's the best comedy bar, man, it's real simple. It's got low ceilings. There's not one TV. There's not a fucking jukebox. There's not a pool table. There's not a dartboard. There's a bar, and there's a light shining in your face, and there's a microphone.
And it's all red light. I don't know if it's red light every time there, but it was red
Yeah,
light.
it's always red. Yeah.
Okay.
You
Felt
know,
like I was getting
the
fucked in a
comedians
photo room or something.
The comedians more or less sit on the far side.
In the booths.
Yeah, on the far, like on your right, if you were
Yeah.
standing on the stage, on your right, and on the left side is where everyone else sits. So you play to the left side, you get some jokes back here. You know, you had something good. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
That's why it's such a good fucking room. I just had a meeting with her yesterday, and
Really?
we're just working on some shit going forward. But I know that they're super thankful for us. We've really helped boost their sales on Sundays, but we're super thankful for them for giving us a great room.
I love the room.
And treating us well.
Like I said, the first time I was there was Sunday, and man, it blew me away. It felt so intimate and great. It was my first club besides the Tulsa Comedy Club, personally.
And listen, dude, if you go in there and you don't drink, because there's some people in the scene, there's a lot of people that dry January. There's some people that just don't drink at all. If you go in there and you don't drink, get a fucking pop. They don't even charge you for it or water or whatever. They don't care. Like, it's not about that. I mean, yes, they need to make money, but they're supportive of us.
Yeah.
And there's just not enough of that out there.
Well, and I get from what I saw too, they also know that most comics are fucking broke.
Yeah, there's a lot of us. Yeah.
We're struggling to make it, man.
There's a bar in Tulsa that I used to do a mic at, and I won't say any names, but they wanted me to hit $1,500 in sales on a Monday night. Whenever, without us there, they'd be lucky if they were hitting 500.
Yeah.
So, some people have these unrealistic expectations of what they think that, that we can or can't do.
Yeah.
But then some other places are realistic about it and understand that, we're going to give them a 30-40% boost in sales for 2-3 hours when we're there. And not only that, but people are going to see this bar and think, hey, man, this would be a great place to hang out whenever I'm not, doing comedy, and people go there and hang out. And that's what we want. It's open, free advertising for them. I post about it twice a week. Katie does most of my socials, and she's always constantly posting about every fucking show we have and everything that we do at Cellar, and they just treat us well, man. So, support the people that support you.
Yeah, agree.
So
and even the bartender was hilarious. Like, I didn't know his name.
Leon. His name's Leon. He's cool.
Okay.
Guy looks like an elf king.
Yeah.
Leon.
Super nice, but dude, his laugh and stuff, like he was even trying to get in on it, make sure everybody knew that he was like entertained and stuff like that. He was getting in with the energy and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, Leon's super fun, man. He did a set.
Oh really?
We did a. Do you know Jesse Willett? Have you met Jesse Willett?
I believe I have. If I saw pictures,
skinny military kid. He's in the guard.
Probably, yeah. There's so many faces that when I see him, I saw him.
I think you may have met him that night whenever we were at the colony.
I met like 50 people or 40 people that night.
Sure. But he's getting ready to ship out to Djibouti, Africa, for like a year.
Shout out Djibouti.
We did a roast for him, like as kind of like a going away thing. And Leon and Saya both did a set, and they both did really good. It was really funny. And about, I don't know, once a month, Leon will come and hand me his phone and be like, hey, I wrote these jokes. And they're always funny. Like, I wish I could remember the one he wrote about me. Oh, he's like, I don't ever have to worry about cleaning the mirrors in the bathroom because I know Rosco's going to go in there and lick all the cocaine off them. Like stuff like that. Because, he's just great, man. Like he gets it. You know what I mean? And so, I don't know. He's just a great guy. It's a good room.
So was it like, did they like owe you, your family a a debt or something? Was it like Hatfields versus McCoy's? No. I'm just flabbergasted. Like, how are you getting laid more than I am? And how are you not needing a sponsor like Blue Chew? Which again, could be a sponsor of Unloading Meat, but they're not right now. If you'd like to change that and stop hearing about Stefano's sexual escapades, reach out to your favorite sponsors like Blue Chew and tell them to sponsor Unloading Meat. Now, back to the episode.
So tell me about the roast thing that you do at the end of your show.
So we have a segment called the Preheat.
The Preheat.
Ooh, it's hot.
That's hilarious.
You like that?
Yeah, I do.
So on the Preheat, I don't know if you saw any of our content before.
Just you and AJ.
Okay, so I grew up fat. I had the best jokes about myself growing up because I knew that somebody was gonna call me fat or something like that. I want to take the thunder
Sure.
away from them.
We're fat. It happens.
So I always grew up with a thick skin and just thinking of comments for myself. I want viewers to send in their comments because I know putting this out there on YouTube, people
Sure.
are gonna say all kinds of shit about me being bi, gay, all that stuff. I'm embracing it. I don't care.
Well, I sent you a pic because I heard that you were going to put it out there for people to roast me, but yeah.
We'll have it out there. But so when this comes out, I don't have any viewers mail yet.
Yeah.
Basically, they can send in their comments. They can roast me, but they have to include a picture of themselves.
So you can roast back.
Yes.
Yeah, I like it. No, I think it's a smart idea.
So what do you got for me, Rosco?
Okay, so Jared looks like Jared from Subway ate Jared from Subway. I don't know. You're the first fat homeless person I've ever met.
Okay.
Yeah. I thought it would be fun if you tried to roast me because I've never been roasted by a literal ham. You look like you love to eat raw hot dogs.
I just suck on them a little bit.
Yeah.
Just for the flavor.
Jared looks like he went to culinary school just so he could eat the leftovers. I bet when your ex-wife fucks you, she calls her friends the next day to brag about having a threesome.
That was good.
I feel like your car smells like Fritos and beef jerky.
And Mountain Dew.
Yeah. Speaking of Mountain Dew,
Oh shit!
I think your children. Did you name your children Baja and Blast?
No, but my first wife was Mexican, so I blasted into her.
You look like you're super racist at home, but have a Black Lives Matter sticker on your car. And then lastly, you showed me something I thought I'd never see, and that's tattoos with stretch marks.
Oh my god, that was the best preheat so far, man. I just gotta say, thank you for that.
Yeah, I thought it was fun.
Thank you so much for that. That is what we want on the preheat, guys. Would you like to tell them where you can actually send your preheat comments?
If you put it on the screen, I will. Unloadingmeat@gmail.com. Put preheat in the subject line.
Thank you guys so much.
Yeah.
If you want to be on the preheat, send your photos with it, and I will read your fucking disgusting, horrible, racist, homophobic comics. No, not that much.
Not only that, but I'm going to read them and write roast jokes because I'm funnier than him.
That's true. We'll edit that part out.
Yeah, right.
It'll be like the Simpsons thing when Punchy went away, and or what's the dog? I don't remember. I just went off.
Santa's Little Helper? What?
No, the dog that they had on Itchy and Scratchy. They brought in like
Oh, there was a dog on there?
yeah, they had like a. We're going off a tangent now.
Do you remember Santa's Little Helper?
Yeah,
though? Yeah,
yeah.
from Simpsons.
There was like two of them, weren't there?
So are you aware of the like the Tracy Ullman Santa's Little Helper? Like, you know, that's kind of where that, you know, Simpsons started with Tracy Ullman show.
Yeah, it was a short on the Tracy Ullman show.
Yeah, so before there was the Simpsons, there's a movie about Santa's Little Helper
Oh, really?
that was put out by Growing. Like,
I did not know that part.
You gotta find. I'm sure it's on YouTube or something, but it's super funny. Like, I remember my aunt had it taped whenever I was in elementary school, so I was like 8, 9 years old watching it on VHS. You know, that and Enemy Mine. You remember that movie?
No, don't know that. Don't know that movie.
Yeah, it's an 80s movie.
Okay.
Yeah, about aliens with what's the guy's name? I can't think of his fucking name.
Don't know that
Louis Gossett Jr.
I know
maybe.
Louis Scott Jr.
Yeah, he plays the alien.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, Well, I mean, if it's a spoiler.
I don't know. I mean, I usually know quite a bit of like 80s. There's some like Maximum Overdrive, Stephen King. Did you ever watch that?
Is that like a movie?
It's a horror movie. It's like Stephen King. It's like the electronics went evil, and there's a semi truck with the Green Goblin's face
What about
on it.
Cat's Eye, Stephen King?
I haven't watched that one.
So
I watched
it's
Cujo. I watched.
yeah, Cat's Eye is it's like 4 little vignettes, and they're all Stephen King. based on
Really?
Stephen King short stories.
Okay.
And yeah, one of them's about this troll that comes and steals your breath in your sleep. I don't know. There's like 4 little.
We're not gonna
vignettes.
have that now. Like our generation kind of sucks. Like now, like we had Stephen King, and there's always that like movie or TV shows like based on the novel by Stephen King or the short story. Like
Sure.
Secret Window was a short story by Stephen King.
Yeah.
We're not gonna have that with this generation. It's gonna be like based on the one-hit wonder, The Way by Fastball. Like it's like that's all we're gonna have now.
Based on a novel by Sapphire.
That's what I said about
Yeah.
Lin K.
Yeah. Yeah, Precious.
Oh.
You called Lin K Precious. I love that.
Yeah, thank you.
That's funny.
Thank you.
That's really funny.
I had one for Trash, but I forgot. Shout out to Trash, by the way. He was super
Yeah,
cool.
Trash on here?
No, not yet. I want him.
Oh.
But he was there on Cellar Dweller.
Yeah.
And
He's super fun, man.
I had a joke for him because I wore my midriff.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, do you want to stick your hand up me? Because I look like one of Jeff Dunham's puppets.
Fucking Trash, man. He's a different kind of cat,
Yeah.
but he's funny.
I'm so happy he got a truck.
Oh yeah, Brian Dixon hooked
Yeah.
him up. Yeah. I heard about that
I got to
too.
email Brian again because like he wants to be on the show too.
Speaking of that, Brian Dixon just messaged me.
Really?
Yeah.
Tell him you're on the Unloading Meat and I want him on the show. I'll email him. I got his email. I just haven't replied back yet.
Let's see what it is.
Oh, here she comes. My God. Holy shit. She was right about the Ford Sanderson sister. Holy cow. They're never going to get the smell out of that filth if you don't get your ass up. I promise you that. Holy shit. Chocolate Q right there. By God, there it is. Chop that Q. Ain't nothing dustier than that son of a bitch right there.
He just sends me a link to his TikTok.
Holy cow.
Shout out to Brian Dixon.
God damn it. What are we going to do with him, man? Dixon, dude.
I gotta schedule him because like he wants to come out. I think he'll be like the last week of February. Probably when the time your episode goes out, he'll be in here recording.
Yeah, he's a good guy, man. I like Dixon a lot. I give Dixon a little bit of props, man. Whenever Dixon first started doing comedy, he was horrible. Like he got up and told a 5-minute story that had no point and no laughs.
Oh God.
And but now he's funny. Like he's really worked on it, dude.
His stage presence is amazing.
He's got some really good jokes. He's doing really great on stage. Like I have all the props for Dixon because like I know that feeling because when I first started, it was horrible too. You know what I mean? Like it's just
I'm still horrible.
It's just about repetition, man. You just keep doing it.
We talked about on the other podcast, like it's like the Japanese, like the 1,000 hours you got to put into your craft or whatever.
10,000 hours.
hours. Yeah, 10,000 hours.
That's not Japanese. That's fucking Paul McCartney or
Oh, was it
somebody? Yeah.
I thought it was like some kind of Japanese thing where we're like with the sushi master and stuff like that.
No, I think actually that John Lennon said it, but that doesn't mean that he didn't hear it from someone else. You know what I'm saying?
So now, did I just appropriate for Asians?
Well, I think you appropriated British people, which is
Oh.
fine because you're a colonizer too.
That's true.
So I think you're safe.
Yeah. At least I don't have the queen on my money.
Oh, jeez.
But some of our
Well,
presidents do look like.
it's the king now.
Oh, it's the king. Yeah. Are they
Yeah.
gonna have to change the Canadian money?
They've already changed the pound. Like,
Oh,
I've
really?
already
The British
seen-
pound?
I've already seen the pictures of the.
Isn't that weird that Canadian money still has the British monarchs on it?
Well,
too?
they're a what do they call it? I don't know. There's a word for them. They're still connected.
That's
I mean,
true.
You know, like even though they have their own parliament or whatever it's called, you know, Canada's weird, dude.
I mean, I guess they got to be better than Trudeau in the blackface.
that's true. You know what I want to see is I want to see a picture of Oprah in like 1975.
I thought you were
going
gonna say Oprah in whiteface.
Yeah. That's what I want.
Just go to any picture of
Yeah,
90s
why don't
Michael
we get
Jackson.
mad about Michael Jackson
I
in
know!
whiteface?
Because it was alopecia and it was okay.
Listen, dude, you know,
Or vitiligo. He said he had vitiligo.
we just celebrated the 25th anniversary of Thriller.
Yeah.
You know, say what you want to about Michael, but he sure touched a lot of kids.
I thought about. This episode of Unloading Meat is not brought to you by your favorite food delivery service such as DoorDash or Uber Eats, but it could be. You can obviously tell from this frame, I use those services quite a bit. So help me out and help the channel out. Reach out to those companies and tell them to sponsor this fat ass. Now, back to the show.
Yeah, I don't. The only one I really fuck with is Twitter, and maybe I should.
I do.
Mark Norman is so fucking prolific on Twitter.
Honestly, I do Twitter because I reached out to a lot of people in entertainment just through that. Like, honestly, people from AEW and stuff like that, like the wrestlers and stuff like that,
They'll respond.
They'll respond. The music composer, shout out to Mikey Ruckus. Last year, he's another big influence on me. Last year he put out a thing that was like, "Hey, I'm playing on Fortnite on Twitch for some fans of mine. Anybody that follows me on Twitter, if you want to play Fortnite, come on." I joined on. We spoke for like 2 hours. I met his wife on the stream.
Oh, that's cool.
And he's a composer for all of AEW's themes.
Oh, that's cool.
And
well, not all of them because Action Bronson does.
Well,
one.
yeah, but like all their in-house themes. Yeah.
Okay.
But he's their music composer and supervisor and stuff like that. Anyway, got to be friendly with him. He follows me on Twitter. I follow him. I would love to have him podcast eventually once it gets big enough. I think I would be able to ask him, and this will be cut too. I don't want to be like fucking toting.
Kiss some asses.
Yeah, I'm not fucking name dropping people. But I mean, in all honesty, if you really like this show, Unloading Meat, you will reach out to your favorite DoorDash or Uber Eats company and tell them to sponsor the show. Because it's kind of like a Mr. B situation where I spend so much fucking money on food being a fat ass that if they were to sponsor the show, somehow that money would go directly back into the show in a weird way. So, yeah, get us a sponsorship. Now back to the show.
That fucking facial hair is ridiculous.
Yeah.
I hate it so much.
You like this? Is this better?
Yeah, that's better.
I'm growing it out.
Yeah, I can't do a full beard, dude. I just can't. I can't handle the mustache.
The one thing I can't do is the Hitler spot. Like, it just doesn't grow. You can see it. It doesn't really grow that much.
Oh, yeah. Are you Indian?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cherokee.
So is Katie.
That's the only reason I would love to be, like, have Sterling Harjo or meet him, because, like, Reservation Dogs really...
You've heard that joke, right? My joke about Katie?
No. I may have, but...
She took a DNA test. Turns out she's 72% that bitch, 20% a bitch, and 8% Cherokee.
Oh, shit.
Like every other white girl in Oklahoma.
True.
Yeah. So that's how she gets her, all of her medications come from the Indians.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they have entire episodes that are devoted to the Indian hospital.
Well, that's why I have my Cherokee tag.
Yeah, me too.
You know, it's because Katie.
I just got my notice I have to get renewed this month.
Yeah.
After I get a wreck.
That's $30. I mean,
60 for me, but.
Well, whatever fancy new car guy.
I know. Well, it's not fancy now.
Oh.
Well, it will be in a couple
one
months.
side of it is. Let's look at the one side of your car.
My car's bisexual too.
Yeah, right? No shit. One side's got pounded, the other side hadn't. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's a little inflamed and orange.
Might have that looked at.
Yeah.
What do you think of what they're doing with the newest I'm trying to say this the right way. What are they calling this newest chapter of the Marvel MCU?
Oh, like
phase, the newest phase. What is this phase?
This is we're getting ready. We're in 4. Ant-Man will be phase 5.
So
it comes out this month.
But they're all which looks good by the way. I watched Wakanda Forever a couple nights ago.
I did too when I was preparing for Lynn Kay's episode.
Oh yeah, you should. Yeah.
Well, the irony was that she did it at the exact same time.
It was good.
Yeah.
It was good. I almost cried twice. I mean, you know, this sad Chadwick died. So, but what do you think of what they're doing with I'm blanking on his name. That's going to be the big baddie.
Kang
the Conqueror. Why? But why Kang and why not? What's his name?
Galactus.
Yeah, that should be. Should be Galactus.
It's coming. So they already announced the Fantastic Four movie, and
I know that. Yeah.
Galactus will be the big bad of that. So they're probably going to tease that into there. Like Kang brings in all the different dimensions.
Yeah, but what does that mean? It's going to be 15 years till I see fucking Galactus? Because that's annoying. That's annoying. I don't want that.
Yeah. But I think they're doing long. I mean, even James Gunn, the DC stuff now is like they have like 10 years of planning on all these different franchises.
You don't think they're going to do Doctor Doom on fucking Fantastic Four?
They will. He'll be the new big bad. But I think as far as like comic fans, people like Galactus and Doctor Doom, they don't want them to be like the flavor of the month villain just for one movie. Those villains deserve a big.
See,
role.
I like Fanforstic.
Yeah.
The last Fantastic Four movie that was made. The first 3/4 of that movie is really good.
Yeah.
Until you get to the Doctor Doom shit.
Yeah. Well, that movie had a lot of issues behind the scenes too.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. The first 3/4 of the movie is good. It's a good movie. Like I enjoyed it.
The director disowned it. I don't know if you know that.
Yeah, but it was the best of the Fantastic Four movies.
Yeah. But he disowned it because he wanted to do a body horror movie, and you could really tell that some of that stuff. And then the studio was like, "No, we want an action movie."
Well,
and they got it re-edited and reshoots, and like they Frankenstein that movie.
What was the other Marvel movie that took forever to come out?
The New Mutants.
Yeah, and I watched it and I was like, this is just a broken up piece of shit.
Yep,
it just
same thing.
It just wasn't good.
Honestly, I'm kind of glad they canceled the Batgirl movie because that was supposed to be kind of like the similar thing.
It's like done right in the can, and they're just not releasing it.
Yeah, Brendan Fraser was in it.
That sucks.
Yeah,
but that sucks for those people.
It does suck for them. Same time,
I've watched the Fantastic Four movie from the '80s.
Oh, the Roger Corman.
Yeah, Corman movie. Yeah, it's so bad, but I've watched it, and it should be out there. It should be in the ether, dude. It's like the Spider-Man series from the '70s and '80s. Like, it was shit, but it still needed to be out there.
Yeah. Did you ever see the Captain America on the motorcycle?
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, yeah, bro.
And that like transparent shield.
Sure, and I've seen the Star Wars Christmas special.
Oh, and you can't forget the classic Incredible Hulk show in the '80s with David Banner.
Oh yeah, that was I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
Lou
Ferrigno.
Yeah, and Lou was great. Oh, that was the '70s, I think, even
70s, yeah, 70s,
'80s.
70s.
Yeah, Lou Ferrigno was amazing. That was.
Did you watch She-Hulk?
Yeah, Katie and I watched it all. Like we're big nerds, bro.
Did you like that the last episode, the homage to the original intro to Incredible Hulk?
Yes, and I love that they brought in Scar.
Yeah,
like that's cool. That sets up like World War Hulk or something.
I will say though that final scene though did feel like the final scene of every Fast and the Furious movie where they're all up.
You're not
the
wrong.
Barbecue,
but I think they meant for it to feel like that.
It felt like that so much.
Katie really loved She-Hulk, and
yeah,
I think it's great that they did a superhero show that was directed towards women.
Yeah.
Like that show was directed towards women.
Yeah.
And I loved that they did that.
Yeah.
That made me happy because it's like, we have all this nerd shit. Yeah. Let's give them something. Well, you know, and She-Hulk, if you've ever read the comics, like I heard people bitching online about how it wasn't like the comics. And I was like, motherfucker, you never read the comics then, because read the comics. This is just like the comics.
Some of the most prolific She-Hulk writers were the first to get those quotes and put them on Twitter. They're like, I can say firsthand, this is exactly what I wrote.
Yeah.
This is exactly the character of She-Hulk.
Yeah, people are ignorant. That's what I'm saying. They just they thought, oh, She-Hulk should be manlier. No.
It's kind of like the pop culture version of She-Hulk. People have in the lexicon of just the pop culture
the only one I haven't watched is continue, I'm sorry.
Deadpool. Before his movie came out, people had an idea of like what Deadpool is. He's a zany Spider-Man. People thought that just offhand, if you saw the Deadpool picture and had no idea who it was,
Deadpool, sure.
You just thought, oh, it's zany, dirty Spider-Man that kind of looks like Deathstroke.
Sure, yeah.
But then there's a lot more complexity of writers and stuff like that, and it needs somebody, a talented team like Ryan Reynolds and all them to really flesh out that shit.
I remember watching that fucking X-Men with Deadpool in it and getting so mad.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly Origins.
And being like, this is such shit.
We could have had that with She-Hulk.
This is not who the character is. Like,
we're in a
like Deadpool's a fourth wall breaking motherfucker, and he's smarmy. Like it's like what they got to do. So like I think Ryan Reynolds said this will be his last Deadpool movie.
He's doing it with Hugh Jackman.
Yes, I know that, but I wish that he would do one more.
Yeah,
and they would one-off it, and they would do Deadpool kills the Marvel Universe, and just have him go through and just fucking kill everyone, just like in the Marvel books. And the movie ends with like him being made in a computer or something like.
What if they
just like the comic?
I say, what if? Did you watch What If on Disney Plus?
So I haven't watched all of them. I think I watched a couple. Yeah,
that would be a great what if Ryan Reynolds voiced the animated What If Deadpool killed all the MCU.
Yeah, because it was amazing. Like the book is really good.
They could even do that like where Deadpool's been in the MCU this last 20 years. They could do like a what if cartoon.
Well, I remember when people were saying like, oh, Deadpool should do the Stan Lee promos. Yeah, and that would be great. But I don't think they do that. Yeah. But I think it'd be great if he would.
It could get old. It could get cliche if you don't do it right.
Yeah, but Ryan Reynolds plays the character so fucking well, dude.
There is a part where Ryan Reynolds, kind of like The Rock, and anybody that gets that upper stage of superstardom is like they're starting to just play themselves in every movie.
Sure.
I mean, Detective Pikachu was Deadpool PG.
I didn't watch it, but
it's very good. It's actually a really good movie.
I'm not a Pokemon getter.
Either am I.
It's past my time.
So and that's where I'm like, I never played Pokemon at all, but I like that movie. Because it's Deadpool that my kids can watch.
Sure.
That's literally all it is. He's Detective Pikachu.
I've heard it was good. I just hadn't seen it. I love Ryan Reynolds though, but like I watched like Ryan Reynolds like Waiting. Ryan Reynolds like
Van Wilder.
2 Guys, a Girl, in a Pizza Place.
Yes.
Like old school, like before people knew who fuck Ryan Reynolds was.
It's so funny that like coming back to stand up comedy and stuff, but like Van Wilder was one of his first. Actually, I think it's like his first. But besides Two Girls, a Guy in a Pizza Place.
And Van Wilder's based on
Bert Kreischer.
Bert, yeah.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't forget about that or don't know about that part. It was
You know his movie, The Machine's coming out.
Yes, I can't
pretty
wait.
soon, dude.
It looks fucking hilarious.
I'm super stoked.
Bert
man.
and Tom were another like Two Bears One Cave was another podcast that got me through shit.
I love Bert.
That's also what inspired me. It was like during COVID, you'd see these comedians that were just trapped. They couldn't go on stage, they couldn't perform, and they were like needing an outlet.
Do you listen to Are You Garbage?
Yes,
That's one of my favorites,
listen
dude.
to them.
I love
Bill Burr,
Foley.
Bill Burr, Trash Tuesday and stuff like that with Kalila and all them. Like,
So Are You Garbage is coming to Oklahoma City.
Really?
Yeah, they're doing Bricktown. I'm gonna try to go.
So,
Big fan.
another kind of bucket list goal I want for this show is, I want to also help get people in Tulsa Comics promoted. I want to get people growing with me.
Sure.
Everybody coming up. I would love to do a caravan of everybody once they're really established, have good shit. Let's go down to Kill Tony as a Tulsa crew.
Sure, yeah, that'd be fun.
I'll buy tickets, get everybody on there, and then we support whoever gets picked.
Yeah, I've got some friends that have done Kill Tony. So,
But I want to take like a whole Tulsa crew of people that we are all like just close, and then we're out there, we're cheering the motherfuckers on, and we're on Kill Tony as a Tulsa crew.
yeah, one of my friends that lives in Minnesota, she actually hosted whenever I featured up there a few weeks ago. She was on Kill Tony and got invited back to the Secret Show.
Nice.
So yeah,
Yeah, because I watch
she's
Red Band stuff on virtual Red Band and stuff like that too. Like I have my VR headset and stuff like that. Those guys are fucking inspirational too. Like
yeah, I like Tony a lot.
this episode of Unloading Meat is not brought to you by someone like Ridge Wallet. Ridge Wallet, man, I really wish I had a new wallet, Stefano. Mine's falling apart over here. It's like held together by dreams and duct tape, and it's pretty empty as it is. Man, if I had a company like Ridge sponsoring this show, guys, you wouldn't have to hear these horrible fake ads. So if you want to make that happen, reach out to your favorite company like Ridge and tell them to sponsor the show, Unloading Meat. Anyway, back to the show. And like I said, David Tell is my number one comic. David Tell is the person that like Skanks for the Memories. I heard that I had that album. My mom let me buy that album when I was like 13. And that album was just...
I remember watching Raw and shit when I was 9, 10 years old and being like, oh, wow, this is
and then Adam
funny.
Sandler's comedy albums, too. I mean, we got back to Adam Sandler.
They're all going to laugh at you. Remember that one? Like,
yes. And then, what's
Toll
it?
Booth Willie?
What's it called? At a Medium Pace.
Yes, fuck him at a medium pace. Yes.
That
and,
still to this day
the
makes
Goat
me...
is one of my favorite Adam Sandler skits where he's like, remember that time you took me to the amusement park and we rode on that roller coaster with a loop-de-loop? You remember this? And you took the picture when we were upside down. Well, one day the old man, he comes back to the truck and he says, finds the picture. He said, "Goat, did you leave the fucking truck?" And I said, "No, they fucking superimposed me." As he's walking back to the house, I hear him say, "What the fuck is superimposed?" Oh, dude, that's so good.
I like the do you listen to Norm?
Yeah,
Norm
I mean, I'm a Norm fan, sure.
One of his albums, he had the secret track with Star Search. I don't know if you ever heard that shit.
No, I don't think I had.
Oh my god, I would recommend find it on YouTube or something like that. It's an entire secret track, and then the whole premise of it is like his agent was like, "Hey, you should have a secret track." He's like, "Well, what's that?" And they explain it to him. Okay, well, we'll throw that on there. And the entire bit is him just doing stuff about Star Search, and it doesn't work, but he just keeps doubling down.
Oh yeah, because that's what Norm does.
Yes,
yeah.
and it's comparing a band called Hot Property, and he just says that name, Hot Property, like Ed McMahon.
Yeah.
He says like 100 times in 5 minutes. And then he compares it to this band, Chunk of Shit.
Okay.
But it's a 5-minute bit. It does not work, but because he just keeps doubling down and it's a hidden track, the audience is with it. It's fucking hilarious. And it's just classic Norm. And I had listened to that album like 3 times, never heard that, and then I was at bed one night, and it was just auto playing when I was going to sleep, and that track came on. Yeah. What the fuck is this?
Yeah. It's like on that Green Day Dookie, that hidden song.
Yep.
The end of the album.
Or when a girlfriend sticks a finger in your butt when you don't expect it.
Oh, what is this like? I was alone. I was all by myself. No one was looking. You
Don't
remember
get us
that?
copyright strike.
Just cut it out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's all right.
I
love
don't-
hidden tracks.
Yeah, you just don't see that shit anymore,
Yeah.
dude. Because
There's no CDs
physical media is dead. What else? What else have we got to talk about?
anymore. You got any shows coming up soon?
I'll be in Wichita, Kansas at the Looney Bin on March 5th. We have Comics Inebriated. Have you heard of this yet? Have
No, I
I
have
talked to you
not.
about this? Oh, let's talk about Comics Inebriated.
Okay.
So I put on this show, man, that was one of the first shows I put on. And I had this idea that, like, comedians are funny, but they're funnier when they're drunk. So I started this show where I always host it because I came up with the idea or whatever. I decided to do the shows. So I have like 5 or 6 comedians on. At the very beginning, we all get together. We all take a shot together, right? We have a wheel or a hat you draw a liquor out of, depending on what you draw. There's 4 or 5 choices. It's usually like some sort of tequila, Jaeger, some sort of whiskey, and like either gin or vodka or something like that. And it's always good liquor. I don't ever get cheap liquor.
Okay.
And so you draw out of the cup. We all take a shot together. Then the first person comes up. They do 5 minutes, and at the end of their set, they have to do 3 shots. Do.
Oh shit.
And then the next person comes up, but that person comes back around and has to do a second 5-minute set.
I'm digging this. I would.
Drunk.
This sounds hilarious.
It's a blast, bro. So we have another one of those coming up on the 9th of March. And that's a free show. Doesn't cost anything to get in. At Cellar Dweller downtown.
Nice.
Show will start at...
Great venue.
Yeah, it's great.
Especially for that. That'd be a great venue for that.
Yeah, it's super fun. She'll start at like 7:30. It's on a Thursday night. Yeah. So everybody that's always on the show, I promise them they'll get drunk, and they will. So it's a good time. And what else do I have? We have daylight savings on the 12th. I don't know. I'll be in Memphis.
That legit popped me.
Yeah.
That legit got me.
I'll be in Memphis on the 25th. So yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, and then Cellar Dweller every Sunday. The open mic sign-ups at 8, starts at 8:30. And then every Friday that there's not another show booked, we're at Tulsa Comedy Club. Even if I'm out of town, I got somebody else hosting it for me. If I'm in town, I'm hosting.
Nice, man.
So,
and
yeah.
honestly, you're one of the best hosts I've seen. Not that I've seen a lot, but I'm just saying, like, you've been very generous. And the funniest times I've ever had at Tulsa Comedy Club is when you go to the bathroom or go smoke, and then Katie has to bring somebody up, and then she's up on stage alone.
She hates it.
She hates it, but it's hilarious.
Yeah, it is.
Because we all know that she hates it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But even then, she performs. She does well.
Yeah, she absolutely can't stand it, though.
Rosco, man, thank you so much for being
Hey,
in
thanks,
here.
man. I had a blast. I
Dude,
appreciate
man.
you, bro.
Thank you for helping support the podcast and helping promote Tulsa comedy.
Anything I can do to help you get more people out here, let me know, man.
Thanks, man. Really appreciate
I'll put
it.
in a word for you. I think you got something good going here.
Yeah, thanks, man. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Tulsa comedy, guys. Rosco, the comedian.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for watching Unloading Meat. Take care, guys.
So when is this coming out? When is this podcast coming out?
This will probably be. You're gonna come out on the 27th.
Okay, so I'm gonna ask her to marry me on the 25th. So this will come out 2 days later.
I love this woman. Katie?
Oh my God.
Will you do me the honor of being my wife?
You're 100% that
She said yes.
I'm super happy that you're finally doing that, because the first time you introduced me, you're like, "This is my woman," or "This is my girl."
Yeah.
Or no, she said that. She's like, "I'm Roscoe's woman," or "I'm Roscoe's girl."
Roscoe's girl,
Yeah.
Yeah, she says this.
And then, like, when I text you one time, I was like, "Hey, your wife," and I was like, "I don't know if it's wife or girlfriend. I don't know what."
Yeah.
So I was like, "I don't know what the term is." So
Yeah.
you're helping the community be at least narrowing that down too.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, dude, it's weird,
I'm so happy
she's
that
40, she's 45 and never been married.
really.
Never, no. And I knew
I was gonna say
after we'd been dating for 3 months, like I knew I was gonna marry her. Like I just knew it. And I've told her multiple times, but it was just a matter of, I'm a broke ass comedian, so it's a matter of getting money together to get a ring. It's a matter of, I asked her son if I could ask her. He's 26 years old. He lives in Oklahoma City. I had to ask her mother, which I haven't done yet, but I will between now and the time. But yeah, man, I'm super excited.
Unloading the meat. 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 I don't even know what it means, what it is, what it is, what it is.
Bye, have a great time.